Hi there, this is Sahid. Welcome to the Bloom Show, brought to you by New Bloom Solutions and above all flowers. Super excited to have you join us again. The intention of this show is to help the flower industry innovate, connect, and bloom through community information, collaborations, and just sharing as much information and valuable information that we can in a very authentic way. So that means also, please feel free to comment, chime in. We love interactivity. So just ask any questions you want. I have two amazing guests. But before that, I do suggest and ask you to please subscribe. It's super important. We're having some great shows this entire month. April 14th, Willie Armelini is coming on board. April 21st, Jay Schwanke talking about life in bloom and how the whole industry could get more involved. And also May 19th, we're having a logistics roundtable panel. I'm super excited about that. David Armelini is going to be there, Christine Bolt as well. So super excited to have that. So please subscribe so you don't miss out on an episode. But now I'm super excited to have two friends of mine that are on the show, which is Mr. Mike Black and Miss Corrine Heck from Details. And Mike Black, of course, you know, from Jet Fresh Flowers and Jet Fresh Growers as well. Super excited to have them. Why? Because last week we spent some time together at SAS CAD. Great experience for all three of us. I know that Corrine's a veteran. She's been there a few times and continues to go because there's a lot of change that we could make. So I'm super excited to talk about that, and also excited to talk about the collaboration that Corrine Details and Mike Black are joining together and offering value to both their customer bases. So really excited to have them on board, and I want to thank them in advance for coming on board, because last week we're all busy and then this week we're busy, but they made some time for me and for us and for the community. So don't forget to subscribe, comment, and interact. It's going to be super exciting to interact. So without further ado, allow me to introduce to you Mike Black and Corrine Heck. Hello there.
I love that intro. That was really cool.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
there's some cool new graphics you got there.
Yeah, we're working on it a little bit. I need to shorten it and do some things, but you know, let's keep on moving, like I say. So thank you.
Yeah. I
Thank
feel
you.
like I'm on the Today Show.
I'm gonna have a sidekick soon. You know, a sidekick that breaks the ice with some jokes. But again, Corrine, Mike, thank you so much, guys. Again, it was such a pleasure to hang out with you at SAF CAD. It really was. It was such a great experience. But let's start by talking about what you both are working on, which I'm happy to talk about because it's a collaboration, and that's what we all stand for as New Bloom Solutions or Above All Flowers is collaboration. So I'll let Corrine take it from it. Corrine, what are you guys working on? What is Details and Jet Fresh doing? And then please chime in, both of you.
Well, I'm really excited to be here. Thank you, Sahid, for hosting this, and hello, Mike. I feel like we've just been chumming around for like the last couple of weeks between WFSA and then CAD and then here. But we have an event design proposal software, and we work with tons of event planners throughout the country, hundreds and hundreds of them, and they're always looking for just new ways to find product, to source product, and we have been really on the hunt to find someone that really aligned along with our values, in addition to quality and just like knowing these customers and what their needs are and their demands are. So when we have been watching Jet Fresh for years now and just admiring like their efforts and what they're bringing to the floral world, and I think their energy and enthusiasm is just really contagious. And once our teams kind of got together to talk about what we were looking to accomplish to give to our florists, it was really like a no-brainer. So they were quick to jump in. We now offer over 500 of their products online. And basically our florists can, as they're creating their events, they can pick and pull different items from Jet Fresh's library, and in a click of a button, they can send an order right to, or a quote, to get a quote back from Jet Fresh. And so that, I think, ease of automation is what florists are looking for. They're not really interested in spending hours like hunting and searching on different websites to find all the different products that they might need for one event. So it's really convenient for them. And who better than people that are buying the best quality products from around the world to really give an immediate response to them. So that was really something that we were looking for in a partner. And I think that JetFresh really checks off all those boxes. So I'm thrilled to be working with them. It's still really early in what we're doing in this collaboration. So I think that through different challenges or different needs or what our customers are experiencing is also a way for us to further continue the development of this platform. And we really want to bring together both sides of the industry so that those communication channels are just more easily available for everybody, from the wholesaler to the end product. And it's just really neat to see those events come together. And when you see the products that they're sending, it's phenomenal. So I couldn't ask for anything more. So I'm really, really thrilled.
And Mike, so tell me your side. So how is this? She's such a great presenter. But tell me your side of the table. How is that working for you? How's that relationship, and what's the benefits you see that they're bringing to JetFresh?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
It's cool. I'm a big fan.
Likewise.
And
by the way, shout out, watch Two Fat Guys Talking Flowers. Listen, there you go. Listen. Sorry. Listen to Two Fat Guys Talking Flowers. And that's a real name, so take advantage. Go ahead, Mike.
So, I mean, yeah, man. If you don't know the Corrine and Details team, man, I have gotten to know them as more than ever from our trip to DC. I got to, I got to know a little bit more about the person and the backstory and how this amazing software came to be, and how I love backstories, man. And good backstories, they just make me want to jump in with 2 feet. I just get so excited. And yeah, we connected, and I saw the vision that Details had. And, we talked about it here for a little bit in the office with the guys, and we said, yeah, well, we could do this, but we want to do it in a way that the correct way. We want to do it the correct way. We don't want to do it where number one, where the cold chain is lost. We didn't want to break that cold chain. We wanted to find a way that we could lasso these orders from these event companies around the country, and there are many on the Details platform. We wanted to lasso these orders and be able to bring them into one order and have them flowers delivered through a strategic partner, wholesaler, in that customer's area, state, city, whatever. And in some cases, there might be multiple partners in an area that we try to find somebody for a company who's willing to accept an order on basically on a silver platter. You say, here, we have this order. This amazing customer has ordered all these different kinds of flowers from around the world. We are going to facilitate that order, and we are going to make sure that it's delivered the correct way through a wholesale strategic partner in their area, using all of their logistics. And it gets interesting for wholesalers if they think out of the box a little bit. It gets interesting for them because the base order is on the way. It's on the truck, but we're selling cut flowers, and most wholesalers sell supplies and hard goods and other items that they can take the basis of this order and they can upsell it with all the other products that we're not currently selling. So and we make sure that our partners are well covered, and the customer is still getting a very sharp price and high level quality. And and we're also working on trying to make sure that we walk before we run. So we like Corrine said, we haven't really gone crazy with it yet. We want to make sure that we don't make any rookie mistakes and not. So we've partnered. So we really started out in the state of Florida,
Mhm.
and because that's within our reach, and if we screw up, we can fix it really quick. And we want to make sure that any bumps on the road. So we partnered with Carlsted's, and we partnered with a couple of other wholesalers around the country during this test period. We're not setting the world on fire yet with it, but it's a project. It's a project that we are from my side of the fence. We're very committed to it, and we're going to continue to make changes and adjustments until we get it right. And we're not going to stop investing into it until we get it right, because I really, I'm drinking the details Kool-Aid. I really, really want to make it work.
I know.
and failure is not an option. So, I mean, we are just, we see the vision. It's the future, man. It's the future. These are the future of how this business is going to work. You can't sit in your room and just say, oh, well, I hope the business comes to me. It's not going to be that way. You need to reach out, and you need to develop and nurture strategic partners who are going to, together, we'll help ourselves grow. We'll help ourselves, because it can't be like you're always pitching seed. You're always saying, you like collaborations and introductions. And I don't know how many people I met since I met you. I mean, you've introduced me to a whole bunch of people, and I even the Wizard. I've known the Wizard my whole life, really, but since I've met you, I really know the Wizard so much better. I just became such big fans of your guys, because I believe what you're doing too. So I think that there's a desire for event people to have some sort of direct connection of supply,
Mhm.
and that's a trend that's been going on for years. Being here in Miami, I've seen it all, man. They come from everywhere, and most of them don't know what they're doing. Not what they don't know what they're doing with flowers. They don't know what they're doing with logistics, and they want to put their business in the hands of a third party. And you got to be careful when you do that, because the third party, they have that act of God excuse or all kinds of excuses that most event florists won't tolerate. They don't want to know about it. They want to know about results. They want to know, hey, I ordered that, I want that, and if it doesn't show up on time, that's not good. So we're trying to make sure that we do it in a completely different way than what has been the trend in the past, which is, buy one box from that guy by FedEx, and another guy by dropship by another way. It's all over the place. So we're just trying to get the right formula and find that sweet spot and make it work well. And we're trying to include our wholesale partners in this project. Now,
Mike, how do wholesale partners get more involved? Is it through you? Is it through Corrine? How does that happen?
so good question. So our first go-to is an existing customer that we have a relationship with. That's our first go-to. So if you're in a city and the customer wants to do this project through details, or if they decide that they just they want to buy outside of their local wholesaler, and that's their decision, and we will capture that order, quote it with all the expenses included, and connect that to our strategic wholesale partner who accepts to do it. And that wholesale partner, their responsibility will be to receive the flowers, to invoice the flowers, to pay me for the flowers, to deliver the flowers. They'll handle all that. And then Jefferson Details have our way that we're working together on the back end. So
And I think for most florists, like they really need options. You know, if they only have one supplier in their area, sometimes they might not have the same partnerships or the growers that Mike has established these relationships with. And when you're really struggling to find quantity in blooms, you're going to ask anywhere that you can find to get a hold of us. And so that's like a pain point that we've been hearing from our customers, especially like in the Midwest or closer out there, is like really kind of remote areas that they're just needing more options. So I'm really excited about it because I think that we're also, you know, we listen to our customers and we want to give them what they're demanding. Basically, they're wanting other sources, and they also want to stay within details. You know, if they're working on their whole event, they don't want to have to go into 6 different websites. They really would like that ease of that easy button. And, you know, I was a designer for many, many years, and I dreamed of an easy button like this. This was kind of something that has been conjured in my brain, that this is the way it needs to work. And I think it's also been really a challenge to kind of describe what we're doing over the last 7 years since we launched. It's like, you know, people didn't really understand, but now that we're getting more customers, our base is growing larger. I feel like they are kind of finally seeing like the vision. And I think there's a great opportunity because all these wedding planners are maybe meeting with brides in January, but these weddings don't happen until October. And that's so much data that we have about this customer and what their future needs are going to be. And I know from selling import products boxes, sometimes you don't get that order from these people to like a few days before they need it to ship. And I just think that there's that 9-10 months of time that can, you know, we can eventually involve some different marketing elements, some different campaigns, some different ways that are going to not only make our customers' lives easier and they don't have to sit down and like figure all this out, but then with a one button, it's already transmitted into JetFresh's system, or, you know, however.
Go ahead.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Corrine.
No, I can kind of see that that's the way it needs to work, because I think that the pain point on the wholesale import side is like people don't send those orders quite soon enough, and they're always scrambling to fulfill these orders. But if they're using details, they're organized. They know in the moment they send out that contract, every stem of flower that they're going to need. So there's really no reason for them not to be communicating this so that the wholesalers can prepare better. And for our customers that are super organized, they're really taking advantage of these processes, and it's game changing for them. They can work on higher margins. They can get better prices on products. And to me, it really makes a lot of sense. It's just been just finding the right partners to like believe in that vision. So I thank Mike and his team because they've been super excited about it. His son Ryan has put together some amazing ad campaigns of like a girl floating through a computer on her, looks like she's in a flower cooler, but she's on
Mary Poppins Goes Floral. Yeah,
it's so fun, and things that really I feel like that they just do a really good job of expressing it. So what we're trying to do is relay that to our customers, and it might take a lot of time and effort and diligence on our part to make sure that they understand. But I fully, wholeheartedly believe that JetFresh is delivering again and again, and I keep seeing it from all over the industry. So I feel like we've aligned really nicely. Yeah, it's a good thing.
Let me take a couple comments here. So give me a quick second. We have Mimi the Great. The hunts for flowers stops at JetFresh Flowers because JetFresh knows quality. This is exciting for the floral pros. So thank you for that. Dave, I might have been a little late on that one, but logistics is key. So he was agreeing to what you were saying, Mike. So he agrees with that. And then we have Mr. Danny Sanchez, which was actually on our on SAF. So that's a great segue to start talking about SAF. But thanks to Corrine and Mike for going to SAF CAD and advocating for the floral industry last week. Important work. So I was privileged to be there around such amazing people, such great leaders. You know, I respect both of you as pioneers of our industry for sure in your different sectors. And also what I got to see was an amazing opportunity, and I recommend it for any entrepreneur or startup or new talent that's coming into the industry, like a new star that might be in a distributor that just wants to plug in and understand the upper level, right? Because the Growers Council to me was awing and amazing, and the futures task force was just my cup of tea, and I couldn't stop talking. But and listening, I couldn't stop talking mainly. But it was just such a great experience to me, and I've been really excited about it, just to talk about it. Anybody I've reached out to, hey, let's talk, you have to go, and I'm already encouraging people to go. So I know Corrine invited Mike as a first timer. So tell us about the first time experience, the first time experience, Mike. How did that go for you? And then Corrine, you could tell us about your experience of 5 years, which is awesome. But Mike, tell us about your first time experience. How was that? And was it what you expected?
So yeah, Corrine invited me to go. She actually said, you need to go. Okay. And I was like, I don't know, maybe, yeah, okay, I'll try. And then the next morning, I got an email from the president of SAF saying, hey, we'd like to invite you to go. And I was like, okay, well, either this is the greatest coincidence of all time, or these guys
Corrine
are working together. So
I'm a fisherman.
So I promised myself, I guess a while back, I promised myself that I am a creature of habit. I do the same thing every day. I eat the same food. I drive the same car. I wear the same clothes. I need to try different shit. I need to try different shit. I got to get out of this. And so, you know, I try to help out on our industry here in Miami. I try to help out on our board, but that never happened. But I want to help, and I want to learn, and I want to meet new people, and I want to network myself and my company. And going to CAD, I did all that, but I also learned like some new stuff. Like things that I had no idea. You know, they talk about the halls of Congress. I never knew they were that big. I never sat with a politician before. I never been involved in things like that before. I'm always big talk, but I never really said to myself, okay, let me set my business aside for a couple of days and go and do these things. So I think that's just the first of many. I really enjoyed it. I encourage anyone who hasn't done it, that's in the flower industry, whether you're a retailer, a wholesaler, whatever you are, you can benefit from it. I don't know too much about the committees and stuff that they have. I know that they have a bunch of different ones, and I got to meet a young lady, Nicole, who's doing the next gen.
Yes.
I was just, she's amazing. She is amazing. She's a fireball. She's full of energy, and she's like, we're gonna do this, and we're coming to Miami, and she's getting the young blood pumped up to be in this industry. So that's what really excited. That also excited me a lot. I want to help her too. I have quite a few, not quite a few. I probably have 4 or 5 young bloods here in my company, and I told each and every one of them when I got back, I said, you guys need to get involved in this. Yeah. It's not an order, it's a suggestion. And I think it would help them in their careers, in their growth, and actually add value to their own company or to the companies they're working for just by having these experiences. So yeah, man, thumbs up on that. I had a great time. And on a side note, you know, I got to get way closer to the both of you guys during that. You know, we none of us really spent that kind of time together, and I enjoyed it all. Even some of the class time, like it was a little bit kind of like, okay, when I was closing, but really I learned a lot from it all, and it was definitely worth it. The trip, the investment, and the experience was great. And I'm a fan, and I'm going to make sure if I don't go, at least somebody from my company in a key position is going, because they need to learn what I learned. Yeah. Thank
How
you.
about yourself, Corrine, being there for 5 years, and you still continue to go? And what I love about you, that you're an advocate. So
Yeah.
you're bringing in Mike. You also brought in the floral coach, the flower coach,
Amy Bolsters.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So you also brought her in, and that was like, whoa, how is it, you're bringing everybody. Come on, come on. So tell us about that. What does that mean to you to bring more people along?
Well, I guess my first experience was with SAF. They invited me to speak, I think, to one of the councils to introduce details to them. And it was my very first time, like ever meeting anybody from this organization. And, I spent a years building details, but then you realize you have to go and sell a product. It's like, okay, well, now I need to go meet people. And so that was really the first industry event I went to. And I was always fascinated with politics. At University of Florida, I was in student government, and I did a lot of those things. We met with Congressman Stubbe, who was in Senate with me, and now he's on Capitol Hill. So it's like funny how your life kind of changes. I didn't really know I'd be in flowers, but when I went there for the first time, just walking those halls, like he said, we bumped into Marco Rubio. I was really just enamored and sold with the whole experience. But, and I was walking around, I think, with Oscar Fernandez from Rio Roses, David Armelini from Armelini Logistics. And these were all companies that I knew, but to see and meet the people behind the brand of these big organizations is where I was like, wow, this is really where I need to be. And I learned so much. Like, I was kind of a wallflower my first year. I think my job was like, I was the person who handed out the pamphlets. I didn't say a word, but I just sat there and listened to these like industry veterans really ask our politicians and their aides for just different things I was completely unaware of. And still a lot of the things that we go, the H2A with the ag labor is something I was completely unfamiliar with. GSP that Mike and I were having a conversation, and he brought up the GSP, and I was like, that's one of the issues at SAF. Like, you need to go, so much about this. Like, you work with that every day. It affects your business in a big way, which I go and advocate, but I don't really, it's not so much hands-on for me here at details. I don't see how that affects us. And I just thought he just needed to be a part of it because those voices are what are necessary. This is a picture with Greg Stubbe and the rest of the people from my Florida team. There were actually 2 Florida teams because there were so many people from Florida this year. We had to split up. But I had never actually sat down with an actual congressman in the 4 previous years. We usually meet with their aides, and to have an actual representative sit down with us, be so familiar with what the policies were and what needed to change. And it was just really, really a very exciting time. It was good to see how the political process works. It made me feel very hands-on. And for the last 5 years, I've been the only female from the state of Florida that is gone, which really just blows my mind. So I invite everyone I meet, if they're a man or a woman, I really want to bring more girls to have more girl power on the Hill. I love Nicole. She's great. She does so much for the industry, but like, we need more women taking these leadership roles. And so I think that that's it's my responsibility to do that and to tell people or teach people and just inform them. But the people that you'll meet, the relationships that you'll make are just so unique. And I don't think that you can really get that anywhere than just from being present. And even if you don't understand everything that's going on, you can be the person that hands out the flyers. But those personal moments or how this affects your business really will drive home. So when these issues come up to the Hill, and they will have us in their mind about, yes, I need to pass this legislation because the florists all came wearing their roses. They will think about us. And I think that makes it real. And I don't think a lot of people know that that it will really make that much of a difference. But I know that in past, like we've asked for more fundraising as far as in research dollars, just to help, on fumigation or different technologies like drones. And like, that's because of the work that we all did. So it's interesting to see these things that you might think that you're a small voice, but collectively, we're one of the oldest associations in the country. So it's like, why wouldn't we continue this? And, I think it's important work.
So if you see this picture, it's super humbling to me because everybody there, other than myself, but everybody there is a leader. is either an owner or president, Augusto, Renato, Austin, yourself, the gentleman that it was an amazing opportunity to be around such level of people. And I had never experienced that in my career. So, and I'm still getting goosebumps over it because it was just a moment that it was a highlight of my career as well, to be involved in this, but also to sit down and have conversations and to talk about my vision to other people that I would have never had a 2-hour dinner and a couple of drinks with before. So it was super, super touching to me and such a great experience. And it was a pleasure to hang out with you guys as well. So my other question is, so I think we're on the great topic, is who would you challenge to go next year, Corey?
Gosh, I mean, I would just challenge the ladies of the industry. I mean, let's get more female representation. Most people in the industry that are hands-on these florists, there are women, and most of the people on the wholesale side are men. But I feel like it's often where there's a lot of men making decisions, and it's just nice to have a feminine touch to see the female point of view, because that's mainly who the customer is. And I think that's just important and wise for us just to kind of get a greater understanding, because if prices raised, it's maybe because of a GSP issue, the non-duty-free product that is coming from Ecuador. That's why that product is more expensive. And I think just understanding those higher level bird's eye view kind of things will give a little bit more understanding, and also how you might need to position your product or do those different things in the future. So I can't think of anyone, like, I don't know that I want it. Jenna from Rosa Prima, she needs to come. Like, I want to be there. She me last time or something. I'll challenge her, but she would have loved it. And I just think it would have been really fun to have more time hanging out with her too. So she probably would have been in my group in Florida. They put you in your state.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so she is who I'd say.
What about yourself, Mike? Who would you challenge?
Well, first of all, I guess I screwed up and didn't tell my whole thing that I wanted to answer before, is that I also had a really cool experience hanging around with Oscar Fernandez, who's the new president of SAF, and Danny Sanchez. We were in our group, and there were some guys from Colombia in our group as well, from Soca Flores and stuff. But the first stop, we went to the congressman's office, and we were shocked. Well, Oscar and Danny were pretty surprised that we actually were going to see the congressman himself. And we sat down there, and Oscar started going through all of the issues, and we had what they call asks, the 3 asks. And man, listening to him confidently talk to that congressman, I was like, wow, this. And then, Danny spoke to some of these guys, some of the meetings too, and you could just tell, like, they just want to get that message across in such a confident way. And I was glad that happened, because I learned how it needs to be done. But I know Oscar since I moved to Florida, like 20 years already, and I knew he was always, top sales guy and manager and all that stuff, but I never really heard him talk like that. And I was so impressed with him. I was so impressed with it all, and I think that SAF is going to have a real good leader coming on board with him. Yeah. Just wanted to add that. But who would I nominate? I'm in full agreement with Corrine. I would have said Jenna also. Yeah. I've recently become a fan of hers. So I do think that that there's a lot of powerful women here in Miami, especially. There's quite a few of them.
Very much.
And, yeah, let's go, ladies.
Yeah.
Right? And not that we don't have a lot of really wonderful women that attend. I feel like the representation is just not there. And I think that experience maybe is intimidating for a lot of people because they don't know what to expect, but it's so welcoming. And I think it's just really, really a giant experience. Like, being there on the hill. It's like your Mr. Smith goes to Washington moment. Like you really feel like connected. And, you know, if we're not advocating for this industry, like who's going to? So we got to step it up.
The stuff they talked about, you know, the stuff about the drones, so there's funding for research for horticulture, and that research for horticulture, it spills into all agriculture. So things that they discover for horticulture can be used also in agriculture, right? So they were showing the slides of like they had, and I didn't really think about it that way, but it makes so much sense to invest into research for the new green way that we need to run our planet. And, you know, if you have hundreds of acres of crops, you just fly a plane and you crop dust everything, and you just pollute the ground, and you just spray everything when everything might not need to be sprayed. And the drones is a way that they can find and pinpoint the exact place that needs to be sprayed or fertilized, or maybe it needs more water, or maybe it needs less water. It's just so smart. It's so smart, and it costs so little to find the way. So to ask for a couple $1 million for research from our federal government when they pay probably a couple $1 million just for new toilets, you know, in the White House, we should invest in those things, and to hear about the problems that, you know, we don't really know about with the special
H2A.
laws, the H2A, the special laws that allow big farms and small farms even to bring in migrant workers to help get their flowers or whatever they're producing, potted plants, whatever it is, get their harvest cut, packed, shipped, because it's really difficult and it's very expensive for small growers to get the same benefit that the big growers have. So they wanna revise the laws to make it fair for all. And all these things make sense. I would have never thought of asking for that, you know, but once I learned about it, I was like, yes, that's what needs to happen. And I just believed a lot in it, you know, and you know, it's you're in a different segment of the business, so it doesn't concern you. So you don't think about it, or you don't talk about it. You go and you learn about it, and all of a sudden it's like, man, that could affect me down the line, and that makes sense. And that makes sense. So yeah,
I want to share a moment that we had at SAF CAD was when you go to your committee meetings and your I think it's the committee meetings. Then everyone sits down together, right? So it's all the florists, the wholesalers, the distributors. And there was a florist that got up and asked a question, and the CEO of one of the wholesalers stood up and answered. So it really allowed for a platform of communication between all sectors. Like Mike says, if you don't think it's your sector or that doesn't affect you, believe me, it's going to affect you at some point or another, because it all trickles down. So that's what I really enjoyed. And I also want to say that, and I think that SAF CAD is kind of, everybody looks at it like it's a special thing in the sense that you have to be someone special. You have to have a passion and want to be involved to get involved. I think it's as easy, you know, I'm not saying that you please reach out to Kate Penn and the Sheila and the crew, but it's basically become a member, and you could also be a fly in the wall with these committees, these councils, and also with the groups, the task force as well, to get involved and learn. I learned so much after, you know, being in the industry for 16, 17 years that I had never seen or understood the inner workings in some cases. So I do encourage, you know, if you're gonna, I'll ask myself, who would I encourage? I would encourage any distributor, farmer, wholesaler that has this rising star in your business that you want to get them inspired and connected. Send them, because they're going to be inspired. They're going to be connected to the right people, to the decision makers. But most importantly, they're going to be inspired and educated. And I think that's worth every penny of an investment. Right?
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, it's I'll second that, but it's an awesome time. So and there's so many events that are happening now that I think that we all talk about there, and I think that that power of collaboration is really what the industry needs. And maybe this one didn't align with your schedule. You know, I know for a lot of event florists I invited, it was like, well, I can't go. It's so busy. Our spring is huge. Like, I just can't get away. So there are other places to make like industry connections. But if you're interested in like where the decisions are made and how the government is like helping us, like, I would say just go and be that fly on the wall.
And Daniel Sanchez is saying the hallway conversations are worth the trip itself. Those are interesting. But again, all the conventions are great. You know, I'm a supporter of every convention around. This convention was just really interesting because it was a different angle. It's not really a convention, but it's more of a networking, of rolling up your sleeves and taking action. And again, I have to give a disclaimer. SAF did not ask us to come on here and talk about this. We're excited and we're a bunch of geeks right now when it comes to it. So SAF did not ask us. We're just geeking out. So my final question goes to you, Ms. Corrine, is how would you define 2000 and I have to look at my calendar, 2021 in one word?
You gave me a heads up on that, which I thank you for. And it's a word I use a lot. I would say that is balance. I had to find a really good balance between like work life, home life, development, customers, new relationships. Like, I think that balance, it was a lot going on, and you can't put all of your energy into just one area. Like, so I feel like I have to spread that out, but not overload myself. So yeah, balance.
And what about 2022?
I would say teamwork. Like, this year is all about teamwork, or maybe the better word is synergy. Where does that synergy lie? And I think it needs to lie with our partners, with my team here, with our workflows, with whatever we have going on, our collaborations. It's just, we really want to synergize and collaborate. So yeah, I think that's a good one.
Good. How about you, Mr. Mike?
2021 was exhausting.
that's
more stressful.
You needed more balance, Mike. Come on.
I'm not a man of one word. What can I say?
All right. Then what about 2022, Mike?
Encouraging.
Fantastic. Those are cool words, and I'm writing them down as well. Hopefully, I can do a little.
What are yours? I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Good question. Great question. So 2021 was really developing, right? Everybody was looking into innovations, looking at new opportunities, and trying to see what they would grab onto and grow from there. And then 2022 is really inspirational, growth, blooming, right? So it's get everything we learned, get everything we did, and not forget how we got here. So 2017 and 18, numbers showed that we were going down in sales because, just because less florists, less sales, what have you. COVID came, we all stopped. Then we're all in a high right now. We're all doing great, but let's not forget what got us here. So it's really collaboration and really continuing the effort of looking for growth. So I guess that was a lot of words, but you caught me.
Solid one. No.
I'm in Mike's place, all right? I'm a man of many words, not a few words. But again, guys, thank you so much, Corrine. Thank you so much, Mike, for joining us. We went over our time, but thank you to the audience that stayed on board an extra 13 minutes to hang out and listen. We truly appreciate that. I am also including here, by your permission, guys, your emails. So here's, right, Corrine, we're good? So here's Corrine's email. We're good? Cool.
Yeah.
Here's Corrine's email at Corrine@detailedflowers.com. Hope it's right. And I'll let it be there for a couple seconds. Corrine@detailedflowers. If you want to learn more about the software or how you can collaborate, or want to get invited to SAF CAD, just she's the hospitality.
Yeah, that invitation.
and then Mike at jetfreshflowers.com. Mike has been nothing but supportive, and I'll speak for you too, Corrine, of startups, of people with new ideas, of anybody that's coming in with an energy. So Mike, thank you for being that mentor in some cases and support for us, and seeing what we believe in and going, hey, go for it. And Mike texts me every time after I did a show from the first day I did a show. So that goes so long and so far. So thank you, Mike, for that. And thank you, Corrine, for joining us. And with last comments here, what do we got? We have, so we have Linda that says, knowledge is power. Go, Corrine and Mike. We have, who else we got here? Joe Colomo, women representation, excellent, Corrine. And I always have to check them just in case. Corrine, you're amazing. Mike, you're more encouraging than anyone I know. You're a great leader, and I agree with that as well. So
she's going to win the Super Bowl. I saw that. Dolly. Yeah.
Awesome. So what do you mean? Now I'm lost. I want to know what do you mean she's going to win the Super Bowl?
Dolly and I have been friends for years, and she is the newest hire to Jet Fresh.
Oh, yes. First round pick. Yes. Congratulations.
NFL music. She put in on the hat and the jacket.
I saw that with the awesome content that they create. But again, thank you so much to both of you. Truly appreciate you. And hopefully do this again soon.
Yeah, I'm up for it. Thank you. Thanks, Sahid.
All right. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you. So as always, awesome hanging out with two friends in the flower industry, talking about collaboration. Remember, New Bloom Solutions is here to help the floral industry innovate, connect, and bloom through community, innovations, ideas, connections. That's what we love to do. And this is a great example. They did it themselves, but this is a great example of how two companies could come together, put their synergies together, and then reach out to other companies and just continue that snowball effect, which I am totally inspired by and really love to see people do that. And then again, SAF CAD, they did not know we were doing this. I actually sent them a little heads up yesterday, so they might be watching, but they did not know we were doing this. We were just all three very encouraged by what we saw, by the energy, by the camaraderie, by the collaboration, by the openness of conversations. So I'll always be, thankful and always remember that first experience that I went to for SAF CAD. I just want to remind everybody really quick, let's not forget April 14th, Mr. Willie Armelini, the myth, the legend, and also April 21st, Jay Schwanke with Life in Bloom. I think this is a great opportunity for growers, distributors, and everyone alike to understand how Life in Bloom can help our industry and how you can help them help our industry. That's super cool. And then May 19th, the logistics roundtable, hot topic, very hot topic. So we're getting about 4 to 5 experts in the industry and to ask them some specific questions and maybe how we could solve some problems or just get insight. Sometimes we don't solve our problems right now, but we also get some insight and inspiration and get to know someone that you might want to reach out to for the long run. So again, thank you to everybody for joining us. Thank you for joining the Bloom Show. Thank you to the audience and everyone that asked questions. Truly appreciate you. Have a great day.